Good morning, everybody. I had my paper in for Oxford. Happy about that. Got it all done up this morning. Sent it off with hours to spare. But tight schedule. And then trying to catch up with all my emails, everything else, and messages. Just a pile to go through. Sorry, I know a lot of you have sent me so much stuff. I'm working through it very slowly. Honest truth, I might not even get through all of it, but the reality is here, what a morning of invites and news and emails. My world exploits are starting to grow and grow and grow. I couldn't believe, first off, Italy and South America, a lot of countries of South America. This piece I wrote, I go into history of Spanish colonialism and imperialism, that whole history, and the key demographics of South America, that large Italian culture, that Spanish cultural influence. They've all got together on agriculture and the family farms. Big presentation. I have to convert everything from Spanish to English, so I've got the general gist of it. Registering for their summit talk. I got that invite, so I'm doing that. Of course, I'm going to do that. I've put them in touch with Land Coalition, a branch of the WTO. I want them together. And then I sent out to WTO. I sent Italy and South America, put them together. They should work together. I don't really like sustainable development goals. I don't like where the world wants to take value in supply chains and food. I understand how that industry has to run somewhat depending on where you are in the world and your climate. But you know, we can't destroy the family farmer. And I'm an Albertan in Canada. I know all about it. I know how that industry's been affected in the family farm for a great many decades, as I've been an Albertan my entire life, as my father's father's father before him, including to the great where they immigrated to Canada, Alberta, before it was even a province. So it's rich history. I know all about farming. Alberta's a great farming province. As I'm out east here learning that, you know, it's a lot smaller scale here, the idea of acreage farms and what cities want to do with local produce. It's not the same as the major farm and growing outdoors. But of course, climate always has a different say in that. You look at Italy and South America, they can grow a lot of things successfully. And you know what? Protecting that family farm is so very, very important. Just as it is there, it is here, as it is everywhere in the world. Second thing now is China and Africa, believe it or not, a group of African nations. Now, Africa is the most exploited continent in this world when you look at imperialism and colonialism. They were literally targeted by every major imperial nation in the world, outside of, I would say, India and China, although there's some works there, limited during the age of city-states. But, you know, Africa has had a very negative experience with almost every major imperial society in the world. And a lot of those countries, as they've gotten their independence, don't wish to have any more arrangements with a lot of those former imperial countries, especially in their gross human rights violations. You know, and this goes into religion too, guys, and I'm not going to get into so much of that. In my paper, I go into that history, and I document everybody as it was, and all the footnotes and provable factual history, whether people like that or not, or whether nations find that offensive. The reality is Africa was abused the most, besides the indigenous of South America, and of course the indigenous of North America, which still in North America goes on today. So it should be interesting. I'm invited to this. I don't know what that's going to be like. I'm invited to write. They want me to write about economics and Africa and China, and I don't know what to how to respond to that. They want me to enter by April 8th. Well, I'm already looking at it like, geez, I got only 9 days, and I don't know if I want to take that on at this time. I'm still debating about that today. Is just to have so many other commitments politically. I got to get that done. But land coalition and this Italy and South America, that's something that has to be looked at and done. I didn't really put it in the title, but I want to get into it here. There's people coming forward. People are saying liberal, whether they're liberal or not. I don't really classify that anymore in Canada, as all the international works I've done and the growing amount of massive worldwide experts from so many countries. It's really hard for me now to really stomach the concept of liberal, conservative, NDP anymore. At least absolutely liberal and conservative, I can say without a doubt. There's a massive narrative of ignorance from really that first-class citizenry. And when I say that, I mean, really, by definition, we're talking about people who are privileged, really privileged. They got into government, or they went to university, they got in with government broadcasting or government, whether that most federal government positions. So they think they know everything, but yet they make claims, and I'm sure they're great writers, you guys. There's lots of great writers out there that got an A+ in school, and they went through that, and that's great for you. And, grammar's important, syntax is important, but the reality is, if you can't bring forward any real credible publication to back up any of your claims, it doesn't matter how many fancy words or how great of a writer you are. If you can't back up your claims by world-renowned experts in real publication, verified, signed, sealed, certified by every major university in the world, accepted as absolute truth, you don't got a leg to stand on. And you can come at me all you want, or you can say, and to my followers who are average Joe Janes, you can say, oh, no, it's this. And a friend of mine said, whoa. Release your publication by a accredited professional in the world that backs up what you're saying. Because you can't find one. I've already scoured the world in many years of work to find the best of the best. I've been through every major university in the world. I have all the faculties, publications. I have case laws of justices. I've spoken to Supreme Court justices or equivalent all over the world from so many nations. I am not a super smart man or super highly intelligent. I mean, I'm intelligent, but I was given a gift to be able to read. I can read large volumes, retain lots of information. That's really my skill set, and it's hard for me to forget it. So as I go through, when I explore things and I really put the time and energy into something, I can get mass volumes, make libraries of information. And then I try to break that down and make it as minimal as possible for all of you, so that it's understandable, and talk in plain speak as best I can. I struggle with it too. But what is interesting is being able to stand with those experts, those well-articulated professionals who put all that work in, and I can read their entire works, their life works in areas, and then present that out and go around and collect them all and bring them together. And this paper I made is in very plain speak as best I could. Not all of it, obviously, but there's the footnotes and links to back up everything I say by absolutely the best of the best in the world. Irrefutable. And I'm just, I'm blessed that I can do that. It's a skill set. I'm lucky. It's just one of God's gifts. I really do like economics. I love math. I've always had a strong skill set there, and I mean, I like to write. It's just, are you very good at it? So, you know, I tried to make this paper for everybody. It's for everybody, and I really hope I somehow I get up there. I don't know if I will. I'll be shortlisted, but you know what? Already, obviously, just the share I put out to certain academic community of top of the top, obviously that's going out into other groups, because like I said, Italy and South America just got that invite. Like, wow, he really did, you know, go through the entire world as it is in international law. And I certainly did. And I certainly did read all those books. And I certainly do bring forward the publications. And I tried to minimize it and transform it into plain speak. It was a lot of work. But, you know, I did that for all of you, just as much as I did it for all the academics, all the politicians, political science majors, lawyers, you know, aspiring policymakers, the General Assembly, even the United Nations Security Council. And I think it, if anything, at least it will sit well with those who need to read it. You know, and I hope it does get published, but we're going to see. So that's my video today. Don't take it to heart, followers. Don't get into too many trading blow matches with, you know, these higher educated personas that come on and, oh, I'm a master of language, or I'm a master in English, and, oh, I have a whole academic community of friends and followers. Well, bring forward their publications, answer my questions, fill in the blanks, and bring forward credible experts to back up what you say. I don't care how articulated you are. Show me the best and the best of the world that supports your assertions, what you say. The truth is, you can't find any, and little by little, I'm making my way through all the best universities in Canada, and the reality is going to be, this is fact, that's fiction. You decide. I only bring the best of the best, and when we get into it with the political party, when the registration comes, it's going to be the best of the best in the world, and you're going to get to hear from those people. Not little old me. I'm just delivering the goods. And we're going to merge the two. Canada is a class structure system in the portion of its monarchy. Constitutional monarchy. It's named that for a reason. The Queen is not the monarch of Canada in any codification and constitutionally anymore. That absolutely belongs to the Prime Minister. And several levels of codification of a crown power that was to be removed in this world. Absolutely by 1948. Done for Canada in 1952, wasn't completed. We've had no constitutional amendments or dismemberment to remove the rest of it. Politicians picked up that power. The parties fight for it. It's gross, disgusting. I know for a fact I registered a political party in Canada, in the hardest province to ever register a political party. Alberta did that. First third-class citizen to do it. Learned and studied, did all the works right through, learned the entirety of Canada's legal system firsthand as a third-class citizen, a feat never done in Canadian history. I learned everything because I lived it. I do the work, the research, it's done. It's hard for anyone to argue it because it's true. And anyone who lived it with me knows the absolute corruption of that system. And that goes right to that crown power, not of Queen Elizabeth II, but absolutely of your Prime Minister and the subsequent crown powers enabled constitutionally and codified in Canada, right through Governor General, all Lieutenant Governors, absolutely the Senate, reigning over our supreme and superior courts of the province. Sorry, that's reality. Bring forward your credible